Discover 8 sinister ghost sightings caught on camera, terrifying moments exposed and unexplained. Jenna's heart raced, a vicious beat pounding against her ribs like a warning signal. Alone in her dimly lit living room, she gripped the remote tightly, trying to stave off the creeping chill that snaked its way along her spine. A sleepless night was no surprise, but the thunderous crash from her children's bedroom had sent her spiraling into a pit of dread. Silence enveloped the house, heavy and suffocating, as if the dark corners were holding their breath. It had been 2 years since her husband vanished, trading their family's warm safety for a life of reckless freedom. Jenna was left with 2 small children and mounting fears. That her quiet life could be shattered by something other than abandonment gripped her even tighter as she tried to steady her panic. The morning lay before her like a ghostly fog, dragging her down further as she scrubbed the remnants of the crash from her thoughts. Desperate, she sat at her kitchen table, staring at the screen of the security camera footage she'd set up months ago. As the grainy images flickered to life, dread rolled over her like an icy tide. The first sighting hit her like a punch to the gut. Shadows creeping, dark and elongated, nearing her children's windows just after dusk. The second moment imprinted itself in her mind like a branding iron. Her children stirring, their tiny forms squirming in an unnatural rhythm as if someone was whispering to them. Sweat slicked her palms as she clenched the edge of the table. Each scene revealed a more disturbing detail. The third captured her kitchen chairs inexplicably rearranging themselves, angled towards the back door, as if mourning the loss of their rightful places in the home. Jenna's breathing quickened. What kind of force was at work here, and why? Waves of nausea rolled through her, mounting an insatiable tension that seemed intent on straining her sanity. Before she could wrestle back her courage, the footage rolled on. It was relentless. The fourth moment revealed her children laughing in unison, though nothing illuminated the darkness around them. The fifth was a bright flash, capturing Mr. Collins, their neighbor, in odd repose on his porch, staring right into her house like a hawk eyeing its prey. His smile, always friendly, now sent chills racing down her spine. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The sixth moment caught her breath. In her throat, the doors of the children's room swinging open on their own, framing nothing but darkness beyond. The seventh echoed like a nightmare, muffled whispers, too soft to comprehend, yet ominously clear in their persistence. Finally, the eighth moment slammed into her, the camera's lenses freezing on an empty hallway, only for the timestamp to read hours before dawn, defective somehow. She felt her world tilting, the edges of her sanctuary fraying. Shadows skittered across the screen, and it was then, watching intently, that Jenna realized something even more menacing was lurking behind the friendly mask of Mr. Collins. The night poured over her again like ink. As she sat alone in the dark, terrified of moving, foam-rushed visions of her children filled her mind. What had she awakened, or worse, what had Mr. Collins summoned? Jenna's heart thundered as she felt the softest breeze pass through the hallway, chilling her bones. A shadow flitted across her periphery, her name echoing in the silence, a gentle yet horrific call luring her deeper into the abyss. She would have to confront the terrifying truth before it ripped her family apart. What waited for her was not just the darkness, but something she had never anticipated, and sooner or later it would reveal its true nature. Jenna's breath hitched as the shadow danced just out of sight, teasing her senses. Panic gnawed at her veins, but she couldn't sit idle any longer. With trembling hands, she rose from her chair, the wood creaking beneath her weight, as if the house itself protested her movement. Each step felt like walking through molasses. The air between her and the doorway thickened, an oppressive presence weighing on her shoulders. The hallway loomed ahead, dark and foreboding. It stretched endlessly, an eerie tunnel that threatened to swallow her whole. Jenna's eyes darted to the living room window. The neighbors' homes stood silent and indifferent, their curtains drawn tight against the night. Reality hung in a fragile balance, the boundary between the everyday and the otherworldly blurring like the streetlights outside. She forced herself forward, heart pounding in her ears. The children's door lay ajar, an invitation or a warning. As she approached, the whispers curled around her like smoke, words indistinguishable, yet wrapped in a tone that felt oddly familiar. The moment she pushed the door open, the chill solidified into an icy grip around her heart. Inside, the room was empty, the beds neatly made, but the air was thick with an unsettling energy. The faint imprint of a child's laughter echoed in her mind, and she shivered. Their toys lay scattered, abandoned mid-play, as if they'd been left in a hurry. Her eyes caught sight of the nightlight casting a weak glow. Beneath its feeble warmth, the shadows twisted grotesquely. "Mommy?" The voice came from nowhere and everywhere, the children's tones blending into a cacophony that sent tendrils of dread curling back into her stomach. She turned abruptly, eyes searching for the source, but there was only silence. The chill raced through her limbs now, urging her to flee. But what if her children were in danger? Jenna stepped back into the hallway, compelled by an unseen force, her focus transitioning to Mr. Collins. Every grainy image she had watched replayed in her mind. He had been there, too often, lurking, a comfortable figure turned sinister. Something about his gaze felt predatory, a hawk waiting to strike. And the way he smiled, beneath that facade lay a horror she could not bear to comprehend. Mustering her courage, Jenna crept toward his front porch, each footstep echoing in the stillness of the night. The world around her was painted in shadows. Even the moon seemed to retreat behind racing clouds. She could see Mr. Collins' porch light flickering, casting brief glimpses of his figure lounging in a chair, the familiar silhouette now twisted with malevolence. Was he watching? Waiting? The hair on the back of her neck rose as she dared to approach. She moved closer, the porch steps creaking underfoot, her heart racing with each slow motion, pulling her deeper into unknown dread. Then the flickering light steadied, and Mr. Collins turned, as if sensing her presence. His gaze locked onto hers, unblinking, and the smile that spread across his face curled like a poisonous vine. "Good evening, Jenna," he spoke, his voice smooth yet chilling, the syllables slithering like a snake through the air. "Where are my children?" she managed to stammer, dread tightening in her throat. "Don't worry, they're right where they should be," he replied, eyes glinting with an unnatural light.
Jenna felt the shadows creeping around her, tightening their grip. "What have you done?" The word slipped out, a whisper of panic. But Mr. Collins only smiled wider, his lips stretching impossibly, revealing rows of teeth like daggers. And then the lights went out, plunging everything into oppressive darkness. The silence exploded, laughter echoed, now monstrous and cruel. Jenna stood frozen, terror paralyzing her limbs. One thought clawed its way through her mind. She had to get her children back. But what awaited her in that darkness, in the embrace of the shadows? Little did she know, the horrific truth was about to be unraveled, revealing a nightmare beyond her worst fears. Jenna stumbled backward, heart racing, pulse pounding in her ears. The darkness swirled around her, heavy and suffocating. A surge of adrenaline jolted her as she fought the urge to scream. She could feel the laughter seeping through the walls, mocking her, wrapping around her like invisible chains. "Get a hold of yourself," she thought, forcing herself to focus. She had to find a way to light the darkness. Where were the matches, the flashlight? She turned on her heel and made a frantic dash toward the kitchen, hoping for some source of light. Every creak of the floorboards felt like a warning. Each shadow, dancing in the corners of her vision, seemed to twitch with sinister intent. She finally reached the kitchen and fumbled through drawers, her fingers trembling. Utensils clinked together, a chaotic cacophony that echoed through the now empty house. Her hand closed around a heavy flashlight. She wrenched it free and clicked the switch. Nothing. Desperation clawed at her. With a few turns, it flickered to life, casting a weak beam that trembled as she held it. The glow barely illuminated her surroundings, but it was better than nothing. She turned back toward the hallway, steeling herself. "The kids, I need to find them." As if in response, the chilling laughter cut through the darkness again, louder this time. It echoed off the walls, filling the air with an unholy glee that twisted in her gut. "Mommy, help us!" The voices were her children's, frantic and frightened, and they sent shards of ice through Jenna's veins. She darted toward their room, flashlight swinging erratically, its beam slicing through the darkness like a knife. But when she reached their door, it slammed shut with a deafening bang. The sound reverberated through her skull. "Open the door!" she screamed, pounding against the wood. "Please!" Silence hung for a moment, taut and heavy, before the laughter returned, swirling around her like a tempest. She felt it tugging at her mind, pulling her toward the abyss. "Jenna, you shouldn't have come back," the voices echoed. "Just leave." "No!" she shouted, desperation igniting her fury. She shoved against the door, and it swung open with an unnatural force. Inside, the room looked as if a storm had torn through. Blankets tossed aside, toys strewn across the floor, but the beds were empty. Her heart sank. A sense of dread crept over her. They had to be close. Just outside the window, the shadows twisted more violently, pulsing with a life of their own. Jenna felt compelled to look. The flickering of Mr. Collins' porch light cast a ghastly glow down the street, revealing figures lingering behind the bushes. Kids? No, shadows of kids. They stood in stillness, eyes fixed on her, unmoving, almost pleading. "Jenna," one whispered, a voice that was hauntingly familiar, the cadence of her oldest son. "Come play." "Get back!" she shouted, clutching the flashlight tighter. "What do you want from me?" "Join us," came another voice, a giggle that sounded so innocent, yet layered with sinister intent. It echoed through her mind, a mental taunt she couldn't shake. cold dread washed over her as she realized those children were not her own. She backed away, the beam of her flashlight shaking, reflecting chaotic shapes against the walls. Panic surged, but she couldn't let it consume her. The laughter crescendoed into a tormenting symphony, pulling her further into the shadows. Suddenly, Jenna felt a tug at her heart, an icy grip around her throat, a whisper threatening to take her. Then the temperature plummeted, each breath fogging in the air as the laughter morphed into a single twisted, "You can't leave. Your children belong to us now." "No!" she screamed, the cry piercing the air. "They're mine!" But her words, filled with desperation, mattered little. All around her, shadows coiled tighter, and darkness loomed ever closer. The walls began to shimmer, real and unreal, time and space blending like the melting edges of a dream. Stumbling back, Jenna wrestled with the flashlight, illuminating the space frantically, trying to catch a flicker of hope amid the chaos. Was there still time to save her children? And then she saw it, like a spark igniting in the depths of despair. A door, slightly ajar, buried in shadows, pulsating with the promise of escape. Would she dare reach for it before it vanished into the dark? Jenna felt the chill creeping up her spine, prickling her skin. That door, so close yet hidden in shadows, teased her with the possibility of hope. She reached for it, fingers trembling, heart racing as if it echoed her panic. "Do it," she urged herself. But the laughter crescendoed again, a tide of sound crashing over her, dragging her back into the suffocating dark. Shadows wrapped around her, pinching and pulling like ghostly hands eager to drag her away. With a final burst of defiance, she lunged for the door. As she pushed it wider, the space beyond glimmered, beckoning her with a faint, warm glow that breached the oppressive air. She could feel the tendrils of darkness fighting her, trying to keep her trapped in its chilling embrace. But she shoved forward, desperation fueling her. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow passageway lit by flickering candles. The air smelled sweet, almost intoxicating, as if inviting her deeper. But Jenna hesitated. The laughter was gone, replaced now by a chilling silence that weighed heavy in her lungs. What lies ahead, she wondered, fear clawing at her throat. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. The floorboards beneath her feet were warm, and the soft light flickered whimsically, casting shadows that danced eagerly around her. The passage wound like a serpent, and every few steps she glanced back, half expecting the door to slam shut and trap her forever. "Mommy!" The voice again, unmistakable. It clawed at her heart, wrenching her soul. "Help us, please!" She pressed forward, the walls closing in tighter, shadows whispering secrets she didn't want to hear. More flickering candles illuminated snapshots on the walls, images of her children playing, laughing, their faces glowing with joy, moments that felt achingly real. She wanted to reach out, to grasp that warmth, to sink into their smiles. But an instinctual dread clawed at her gut. Suddenly, the flickering lights began to dim, each candle flicking out one by one until only a few remained. Jenna felt a panic growing. "No, don't leave me!" she cried, her voice echoing in the eerie stillness. She stumbled backward, the passage narrowing, the air heavy with dread. Out of the darkness, a shadow clawed its way toward her, a grotesque outline that shifted and swirled, forming into a figure. Jenna's breath caught in her throat, ice spreading through her veins. She raised her flashlight, illuminating the silhouette. It was a child, her child, but not quite. Eyes hollow, skin pale, filled with an unsettling darkness. "You came back," it whispered, voice hollow, distorted. "You promised." Panic flared within her. "No, I didn't mean to." "Mommy, come play!" Multiple voices rang out, echoing mockingly, blending with the chilling laughter that enveloped her like chains. The figure drifted closer, arms outstretched but rigid, frozen in time. Jenna could feel the warmth of love turn to cold dread. The walls of the passage trembled, vibrating with malicious energy. Shadows writhed at the edges, pulling her in. "You can't save them, Jenna," the hollow voice echoed. "They're here with us now, forever." She stumbled back, gripping the flashlight like a lifeline. Then the shadows lunged, pulling at her clothes, clutching her arms. The walls grinned with malicious intent, and Jenna felt the pressure building like the final moments of a nightmare. Just as she thought she might be lost forever, a beam of light shot through the gloom. In the distance, another door shimmered, beckoning her. But before she could react, the fingers of darkness tightened around her, dragging her toward the shadows. "Jenna." The voice was her son's, but twisted, sinister. "Come play." This time, there was no escape. She fought against the pull, desperate for freedom, tears streaming down her cheeks. The distorted laughter echoed around her, wrapping her deeper into the void. What lay beyond that door? Would she lose herself entirely? With a newfound surge of energy, she darted toward the light, holding on to the fading hope. But as she reached out, the laughter crescendoed one last time, promising her that the darkness would reclaim what she had stolen. Just as her fingers brushed the doorknob, a haunting scream pierced the air, sending rumbles through the passage. She froze. What had she stepped into? The shadows tightened their grip, and she knew some promises could never be kept. The door slammed shut behind her, the clang reverberating like a gunshot. Jenna whipped around, heart racing, breath wheezing in her throat. The dimly lit corridor seemed to pulse with malignant energy. The flickering candles cast eerie shadows that danced in the corners, taunting her, reminding her of what lay just beyond the door. Her son's voice echoed again, a rhythmic chant that sent ice through her veins. "Mommy, come play! Join us!" The distorted familiarity made her stomach churn. She stumbled forward, drawn deeper into the passage as if it were alive, eager to swallow her whole. The warm glow ahead flickered like hope doused in fear. "I need to get to the end," she whispered, clutching the flashlight like a shield against the encroaching darkness. Yet every step felt weighted, laden with dread and expectation. An unbearable sense of foreboding coiled around her throat. With a jolt, images flashed by on the walls, frames of her family distorted into nightmarish scenes. Laughter twisted to screams, frozen moments of joy warped into grotesque parodies. In one, her daughter's face morphed into a twisted mask, eyes wide with terror, caught forever in a silent scream. In another, her husband, once full of life, was bound in dark tendrils, mouth agape as if begging for release. "What is this place?" she gasped, panic crashing over her like a tidal wave. Her flashlight flickered, and she cursed under her breath, her heart racing as darkness flicked back like a tongue, tasting her fear. "Stay steady," she murmured. But behind her came a rustle, then whispers, fluttering through the air like moths drawn to flame. "Jenna, don't leave us," they breathed, voices merging, shifting like smoke. The passage narrowed, walls closing in, pulsing with malignancy. Jenna pressed on, forcing her legs to move, each step trembling. "I have to reach the door," she urged herself, the images of her children imploding in her mind, fractured and haunting. Suddenly, shadows shifted, and from them sprang a figure. It was another child, tattered, gaunt, and grinning wide but without warmth. "You promised to play, Mommy," it squealed, arms outstretched like a marionette pulled by invisible strings. Jenna recoiled, fear flooding her, but the figure lunged, grasping her wrist with a grip that felt unnatural, cold, and unyielding. She thrashed against it, her own scream drowned out by the cacophony around her. "Let me go! I'm not leaving you!" But the shadow child merely giggled, eyes like endless voids. "You'll never leave, Mommy!" With a surge of adrenaline, Jenna ripped away, staggering back. Her flashlight dimmed again, the darkness seeming to absorb the light. She stumbled further down the passage, now desperate to escape. And then she saw it, the shimmering edge of the next door ahead, glowing like a will-o'-the-wisp. Jenna raced toward it, panic clawing at her throat, heart pounding like a drum. Just a little further. But as she reached the door, it trembled ominously, the whispering shadows crawling up her legs, tugging her back. She was caught in their snare, a puppet ensnared in tangled strings. "Mommy, help me!" A voice broke through the thick air, familiar yet distorted. Her heart dropped. It was her daughter's voice, pleading in agony, echoing around her, pulling her in two directions, toward the door and the screeching shadows. What would she choose? Escape, or the reality of her children trapped forever in the Hall of Nightmares? The door swung open suddenly, revealing a swirling vortex of light and shadows. Jenna was torn. With her heart in her throat, she took a step. But before she could dive into the unknown, a chilling chorus erupted from the shadows, faster and louder, drowning her voice in madness. "Stay with us! Join the game!" And the shadows surged forward, a tide that promised to engulf her completely. Would she succumb to the darkness, or could she muster the strength to break free? She had to.
Decide now. Jenna's breath quickened, her mind racing with chaotic thoughts as shadows lashed out at her from every direction. She had never felt such a heavy weight on her chest, suffocating her under the oppressive darkness. Desperation clawed at her throat as her daughter's voice echoed, now turning into a wailing siren that cut through the fog of terror. "Help me, Mommy! Don't leave me!" The door stood wide, offering a beckoning light, but Jenna felt the shadows wrap tighter around her like a constrictor poised to crush its prey. "No, I can't leave you!" she shouted, realizing the absurdity that screamed from her own heart. Would she truly drag her daughter into the abyss? As if sensing her wavering resolve, the shadows cackled, writhing like snakes around her ankles. The air went frigid, and Jenna's breath puffed in white puffs as the temperature plummeted. A piercing chill shot into her bones, paralyzing her for a heartbeat. "Join us," the voices hissed, overlapping in a twisted harmony that made her skin crawl. The flickering lights of her flashlight barely pierced the encroaching darkness. With sheer instinct, Jenna lunged forward. She slammed against the doorframe, praying for it to hold. "Let her go, please!" Her lips trembled as the cries grew louder, mixing with haunting, shrill laughter. It felt as if the walls were alive, vibrating with malice, shifting, whispering secrets meant only for her ears. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes emerged from the shadows, pinpricks of malevolence fixated on Jenna. A ghastly figure, one of the specters from her nightmares, twisted backward and forward, its body contorted in unnatural angles. "Why don't you want to play?" it screeched, voice splintering with glee as it advanced. "We can be one big happy family!" Jenna's pulse thundered in her ears as the figure beckoned, its skin glistening with moisture that pooled on the floor, sickly and dark, tracing a path toward her. "No," she gasped, horrified, as she felt the pressure build around her, dragging her backward against the doorway. The shadows surged again. They were relentless, devouring every inch of courage she had left. She was teetering on a precipice between the swirling light of the door and the cold, white-knuckle grip of the shadows. "Mommy!" The piercing shriek was pure agony, ripping through her like a blade. Jenna's heart shattered. "Hold on," she cried, pushing against the pull of darkness, her own memories clawing to the surface. In a moment of clarity, Jenna forced a scream through her lips that shattered the silence of the corridor. "Let her go, you bastard!" The shadows recoiled, uneasy, but not enough. The specter laughed, spinning in glee, as the darkness lashed like a tempest, furious to silence her. In a desperate act, she thrust the flashlight into the light. It flickered furiously before steadying, illuminating a truth that made her blood run cold. The corridor, the door, even the twisted specters, they were manifestations
of her own fear and guilt. "No!" she shouted, tinged with realization. "I won't give in!" She pushed against the force pulling her, an impossible weight that didn't just bind the body, but choked the spirit. But above the ruckus, a flickering memory sparked, a fleeting moment when her daughter had laughed in their backyard. What if she chose to save her? Would she resent her children forever, chained in torment? And then, with an unfathomable strength born from love, Jenna turned back towards the vortex of light. "I'm coming for you!" she shouted, diving toward the door. But suddenly, the shadows roared. The door began to close, the light dimming. Panic surged anew as she reached, fingertips brushing against the edge. The air crackled with energy, and Jenna could feel the shadows clawing at her heart as they screamed her name. "Mommy, don't!" Desperation seized her. She launched herself forward, reaching for clarity. All or nothing, she thought. Would she leap into the light or be engulfed by the screams of her past? Then everything froze. The door was still there, but the shadows pulsed as if waiting for her choice. "Jenna," a whisper curled the air, just before everything erupted into darkness. What had she chosen? The light still flickered ahead, but the shadows muttered, "You'll play our game yet." Jenna felt the dread coiling tighter. The real game had only just begun. Would she find her family in the light, or be damned to wander the corridors forever? Jenna felt the world tip, a dizzying vertigo curling around her as the shadows constricted tighter. Her heart pounded, each thud a fearful reminder of the suffocating darkness that clawed at her soul. She gasped for air. The icy breath of the void wrapped around her throat, squeezing with a relentless grip. "Mommy!" It was her daughter's voice again, raw with terror, a sickening echo that mirrored her own dread. She stumbled forward, the glimmer of light flickering like a dying ember just beyond her reach. "Don't be scared, sweetheart," Jenna yelled back, forcing her voice to cut through the fog of despair. But doubt gnawed at her mind. Was she too late? The corridor warped around her, elongating like a dark tunnel leading deeper into madness.
She could feel the weight of spirits, lost and twisted, swirling in the corners, their whispers turning to laughter, derisive and filled with malice. The shadows swirled in a macabre dance, glee emanating from their voices. "Join us! Join us!" they chanted, a symphony of despair spiraling around her. Jenna's fingers grazed the surface of the doorframe, warmth radiating from the light beyond, yet the thickness of the shadows stung her skin like frostbite. Desperation ignited her resolve. If she didn't act, the darkness would consume not just her, but all she loved. "Get away from her!" The words tore from her throat, but the darkness responded with a tempest of laughter, almost mocking her attempt to reclaim her power. And then,
a sudden burst of sunlight piercing heavy clouds, she remembered the heartwarming laughter of her daughter, the echo ringing in her ears like a siren call. Driven by that memory, Jenna hurled herself toward the light, her pulse racing with the energy of hope igniting within her. The moment she took that leap, the light enveloped her. She felt the shadows recoil as if stung. For a moment, it was just her and the warmth of the light, washing over her like a dream of safety she thought lost forever. But even in this fleeting euphoria, Jenna sensed a presence lingering. The shadows didn't fade into oblivion. They lurked at the edges of the light, weaving tendrils closer with every heartbeat. "You think you can escape?" The figure of the specter hissed, its voice rippling with venom. "You'll always come back to us." Suddenly, a cold wave ricocheted through the warmth, and a massive gust of wind whipped through the corridor, extinguishing the light. The world turned dark again, darker than before, an all-consuming void hungry for despair. Panic clutched her insides. "Take my hand!" Jenna yelled desperately into the darkness, her voice an anchor amid the chaos. There was silence, and for a heartbeat, she thought of the little fingers that once squeezed her own. Then she felt a small hand slip into hers. "Mommy!" That same pure voice, threaded with warmth and love. Her daughter's tiny embrace made her heart swell, pulled her back from the brink. "We have to go!" With renewed vigor, Jenna yanked her daughter closer, pushing against the shadows that screamed her name, pulling her back like a tempest. For every step away from the darkness, it crept closer, gnawing at her heels. Jenna gritted her teeth, dragging her child forward, heart racing as the specter roared, "You can't protect her, you fool! The game has only begun." She thrust her way through the swirling fears, her mind sharp and clear, a warrior driven by love. Yet, just as the shadows receded for a moment, Jenna's hope faltered. She felt a shift, a pressing weight of something unholy and powerful. It dawned on her that every step she took pulled them deeper into the labyrinth of despair. This was no exit, it was a twisted level of the game. Jenna turned back to the light, her heart hammering. A doorway loomed ahead. Hope surged, but uncertainty clawed at her. "Mommy, what if it's not safe?" her daughter asked, her voice trembling. Jenna's breath quickened. Could she truly protect her? Would the shadows swallow them both? "Trust me," Jenna insisted, but as they darted toward the door, she could hear the dark laughter erupting again, louder, more insistent. Would they make it out intact, or was this just a ploy, a trap set for the unwary? As they stood before the doorway, Jenna hesitated, that whispering dread echoing in her mind. Could they truly escape this time, or were they simply stepping into a deeper, darker nightmare? Jenna pressed against the doorway, her hand lingering on the handle, cold metal biting into her skin. Breath hitching in her throat, she could feel the weight of her daughter's tiny frame beside her, quaking with fear. The laughter of the shadows was relentless, pushing against her resolve, taunting and teasing, threatening to drag them back into the darkness where hope withered like a forgotten whisper. "Mommy, I'm scared." Her daughter's voice trembled, each word laced with raw panic. Jenna clenched her teeth, forcing back the flood of terror threatening to swallow her whole. The shadows writhed around them, pulsating with malevolence. Jenna's chest tightened. "We can't stay here," she hissed, adrenaline coursing through her veins, fueling her desperation. With one quick inhale, she turned the handle. In that instant, a heavy dread settled over her like a shroud. Would they step into salvation or into a trap crafted by the very souls they fled? The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit room blanketed in silence. Jenna peered inside, her heart racing. Dust motes floated lazily in the pale, flickering light. A solitary window cast ghostly shadows, illuminating a tattered rocking chair that swayed back and forth as if recently occupied by an unseen presence. "Mommy." Her daughter's voice faded to a whisper, eyes wide and darting around the space, taking in every dark crevice, every corner that could harbor a lurking threat. "Stick close to me," Jenna murmured, stepping over the threshold. She glanced back at the door, half expecting the shadows to pounce the second they crossed into the room. But instead, an eerie tranquility fell over them, making her skin prickle. The instant she stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind them with a resounding thud that echoed off the walls, a mournful wail barely hidden beneath the noise. "Mommy, it's dark in here," her daughter cried out, pressing against her with trembling limbs. "I know, sweetie. Just stay close," Jenna reassured, though fear churned within her gut. The shadows raced back to taunt them, slipping under the small gap beneath the door, whispers melding into a cacophony of anguished cries. Panic flooded Jenna's senses, urging her to search for a way out. She turned her attention to the room, her eyes narrowing at the dilapidated furniture, eyes scanning frantically for any signs of hope. Her breathing quickened, the weight of their situation intensifying with each heartbeat. And then she saw it, a glimmer, a faint light flickering from the far end of the room, illuminating a dusty old mirror hanging crooked on the wall. Something thrummed beneath its surface, as if coaxing Jenna closer, luring her towards its allure. "Stay here," Jenna commanded, though her voice wobbled. She stepped cautiously towards the mirror, the darkness swirling behind her like a predator lurking in the shadows. Jenna reached out, the coldness of the glass spreading through her fingers like ice. As she gazed into the mirror, her heart sank. Reflections danced, twisted forms of her daughter and herself, but they didn't look quite right. Their faces were drawn, gaunt, mouths stretched into wide, endless screams that echoed in her mind. "No, no," Jenna breathed, jerked back by the fear that clawed at her heart. The world around her warped, as if the mirror was a gateway to something unspeakable. "Mommy!" her daughter cried, her voice cracking with raw emotion. Jenna turned. The girl's own reflection began to twist, warping into a dark version of herself, eyes hollow and void. Suddenly, the space between them began to collapse, the shadows closing in, whispering the finality of their doom. A chilling gust enveloped Jenna, carrying a chorus of mournful voices. "You're too late! Run!" Jenna shouted, grabbing her daughter's hand. But terror seeped into her bones as the mirror pulsed with a life of its own, filled with unspeakable evil, a promise of despair. They sprinted back toward the door, but flames of shadow erupted around the frame, locks snapping shut with a menacing finality. The laughter grew deafening as the walls shivered with the weight of the darkness surrounding them, closing in.
Was there no escape? Was the mirror a gateway or a trap? And what if it held the answers to the confounding darkness, threatening to take them? As Jenna's grip tightened around her daughter's hand, she realized something more ominous loomed behind them, a shadow larger than she could fathom. "Mommy, what's happening?" Her daughter's voice was a fragile thread amid the chaos, her fear palpable. Jenna could feel it. The darkness was hungry, its tendrils pushing forward, ready to ensnare them both. And in that harrowing moment, Jenna knew they had to make a final choice, crossing the threshold between worlds, into illumination or into oblivion. A chilling thought gripped her. Did this darkness offer the key to something terrifyingly real? As Jenna waited on the precipice of a decision, she felt the very fabric of reality rippling, her heart pounding louder than the ominous laughter behind her. With a jagged breath, they stood at the edge, knowing one step could plunge them into the deepest shadow or bring them face to face with the truths they'd both been avoiding. What would it be? The darkness beckoned, and with a shuddering heart, Jenna lifted her chin, prepared to meet whatever lay on the other side. A heartbeat echoed in the suffocating silence, suspended in the thick air between them. Jenna faced the mirror, the imagery within twisting and writhing like a living nightmare. It was an invitation to despair, an abyss of malice waiting to consume them. "Mommy, I don't want to go." Her daughter's frantic plea shattered Jenna's concentration. Their reflections screamed, yet Jenna could feel the rise of something far more sinister creeping into the edges of her mind. An insidious whisper threading through her consciousness, promising safety if she surrendered. "Just hold on tight, baby," Jenna cried, forcing her body to pivot away from the mirror. The decision had been made, but the darkness was relentless, writhing like a being of its
own, vibrating with rage at their defiance. The door behind them rattled violently, the relentless laughter clawing even harder at Jenna's ears. The shadows slipped closer, tendrils brushing against her skin, seeping into her clothes with an icy grip. They were no longer just an illusion. They reeked of wet earth and despair. "What do we do?" her daughter whimpered, the panic in her voice unraveling Jenna's thinning resolve. The empty rocking chair creaked in the distance. A ghostly draft swirled around, carrying the bitter scent of forgotten sorrow. Jenna spun around, heart racing, every instinct screaming. There, in the corner, another shadow began to materialize, dark and shape-shifting, stretching like something alive. "Go back," she urged, dragging her daughter toward the other side of the room. But they were trapped. The mirror was a cruel reflection, and the shadows were closing in like teeth around their throats. The figure drifted closer, its shape melting into something human, yet grotesque. Jenna's breath hitched in her throat, eyes wide as she recognized familiar features twisted in anguish, faces she once loved, lost in the depths of the dark. "Save us!" they cried in unison, voices overlapping into an unbearable cacophony. Each word clawed at Jenna's heart, fingers of guilt wrapping around her soul, squeezing until she gasped for air. "Mommy!" her daughter tugged at her sleeve, eyes bright with confusion and fear. Jenna turned, and for a moment her daughter's reflection in the now quivering glass caught her eye. There was something wrong, something she couldn't quite place. Her daughter was smiling. "Jenna, let's join them," her daughter breathed, voice eerily calm, her small hand reaching upward toward the mirror, pulling away from Jenna's grasp with an unnatural ease. "No!" Jenna shouted, heart racing, the shadows rushing forward in a maddened frenzy, sensing the flicker of vulnerability. Desperation coursed through her veins, electrifying every nerve. She lunged forward, grabbing her daughter's wrist tight. "Don't listen to them. They want to take you away." The figure stopped, eyes darting between mother and daughter, a glimmer of dark amusement flickering across its spectral face. "The choice is not yours, little one. She can come if you want her to." Jenna felt the world around her shudder. The walls breathed, the floor pulsed. "We'll find a way out. Just don't." But as she spoke, the mirror rippled, revealing something deeper, something of unyielding malevolence. In that moment, Jenna understood. This was a breaking point, an ultimatum delivered by the encroaching darkness. "Mommy, let me go." Her daughter paused, eyes glinting with dark allure, almost pleading. Jenna could feel the shadows swirl faster now, the laughter rising to a frenzied pitch. "Please," Jenna screamed, a primal desperation igniting inside. "We have to escape." But the figure reached out, caressing her daughter's cheek, and for a brief instant, Jenna saw a flicker of her daughter's true face, lost within betrayal. The darkness surged, time froze, the room warped. "Let go." Tears streamed down Jenna's face, and in that agonizing moment,
Her mind raced. Could she let go? Would the darkness claim her daughter forever? Or could they fight their way back into the light? As Jenna felt the darkness clawing at the remnants of her hope, she clenched her teeth and made a choice she'd never be able to take back. Thunder clapped. The shadows roared. "Hold on," she howled, a desperate plea as she felt the pull of the mirror behind her, alive with an unexplainable force. What answer would they receive in return? Before Jenna could calculate her next move, a blinding flash illuminated the room, and darkness screamed. Was it the end, or were they vibrant souls tangled in a battle for their very existence? And in the aftermath of that explosion of light, what would remain? Lost echoes or forbidden truths? The air crackled like the aftermath of a storm, and Jenna suddenly found herself suspended between worlds. The shadows that had clawed at her sanity faded to the edges, a crescendo of laughter dying away into an unsettling silence. She looked around, breathless, her heart hammering, as she realized something had changed. "Mommy?" Her daughter's voice was soft, almost tentative, pulling Jenna back to the present. They stood in a vast expanse of light, a wide open space that felt like an embrace rather than a prison. The walls of darkness had receded, leaving behind a memory of their suffocating grip. Jenna blinked, wonder swelling inside her, merging with a sense of urgency. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Panic laced her voice. Her daughter looked up at her, the shadows of fear lifting slowly from her small face. Laugh lines tugged at the corners of her mouth, softer and brighter than they had been moments before. "Yeah, Mommy, I'm all right," the girl replied, a flicker of their old connection resuming. Jenna knelt, grasping her daughter's arms, the warmth of her skin grounding her. "But where are we?" The girl's eyes widened as the brilliance around them shimmered like a distant memory, flickering with uncertain answers. "I think," Jenna hesitated, eyes scanning the landscape of light, "I think we're free." But every hope came with an undercurrent of dread. The memory of shadow remained a ghostly whisper at the back of her mind. Had they truly escaped? The room behind them, the mirror, the figures, the terrifying dance of light and dark, blended in a tapestry of confusion. "Mommy, look!"
Her daughter pointed, eyes gleaming now with wonder rather than fear. Before them stood a shimmering silhouette, a doorway framed with golden light, humming softly in invitation. Jenna felt her spirit soar as a wave of relief washed over her. Maybe it was a way home. Together, they stepped toward the glow. The air tingled with potential, urging them forward, and Jenna's heart twisted as remnants of the dark clung stubbornly to her thoughts. "This just feels too easy," Jenna murmured. "Don't think like that," her daughter replied, a wisdom in that innocence that snapped Jenna to attention. The flickering memories of
The past warning of their presences combined with the realization that they had faced the darkness together. "We're safe now. I can feel it." "Okay," Jenna breathed deeply, allowing practicality to fill the remaining shards of her fear. "Let's go." As they crossed the threshold, colors exploded into view, vibrant shades swirling around them like petals caught in a spring breeze. The warmth wrapped around them, surrounding with an assurance that every twist of terror had led them here. Jenna squeezed her daughter's hand, a silent promise that they'd always be together. But then came a fleeting echo, a phantom vibration of laughter skittering across the edges of their reality. Jenna's gut twisted. She stopped, drawing her daughter close. "What was that?" "It's okay, Mommy. We're safe," her daughter whispered, holding her gaze steady. "Are we?" Jenna asked, feeling the shadows lingering behind her, a thin veil still stitched within her thoughts. The doorway shimmered brighter, undulating waves of reassurance pulled them closer, but the laughter lingered, luscious and tight. "Mommy," her daughter gasped, "wait!" The air thickened as their brows furrowed, both of them sensing a shift, a dark exchange swirling just beyond the threshold of their safe passage. A swirling figure flickered back into their vision, the specter's outline standing against the vibrant backdrop. "Do you really think you can escape me?" The shadows twisted into a familiar voice, echoing their past before it morphed into something new. Jenna's heart sank into familiarity. "No, stay away!" she shouted, clutching her daughter. "Join us," the ethereal figure hissed, mirroring their memories of loss. "Join the game." But Jenna had learned. "Not anymore!" she shouted, resolve surging through her veins. In that moment, she recognized the truth. The darkness wasn't something separate. It was intertwined with her, a reflection of her own anxieties and fears. With every ounce of will she possessed, she stepped toward the doorway, the universe aligning as it hummed softly into harmony around her. "We won't succumb to you. The shadows will always be a part of you," it hissed, laughter fading into hollow echoes. "No!" Her daughter's voice wavered, yet Jenna tightened her grasp. "We are stronger than you." Holding fast, they instinctively pushed forward, sunlight pelting down upon them like golden rain, forcing the specter back into the realm it sought to dominate. Together, they stepped through the doorway, and for a moment, she lost herself in an endless wash of light, warmth, and peace. Then silence enveloped them, a gentle caress against their skin, as if purity had washed away their past fears. The light shimmered in soft hues, blossoming into vision. A room carefully painted with echoes of their joy, their love, home. Jenna turned, her heart swelling, her breath hitched with astonishment. The vibrant colors seemed alive, weaving warmth into the surroundings as furniture took familiar shapes. The shadows, though encroaching, felt less like a threat and more like a residue of something once feared, now overcome. "Mommy, we did it!" her daughter cheered, every glimmer of innocence shining bright. "Yes, we did!" Jenna exclaimed, kneeling down to pull her daughter into her arms. A rush of assurance filled her heart, and she buried her face in the soft fabric of her daughter's hair. In that instant, she realized the darkness would always be a part of her story, coexisting with the light, but it wouldn't own her. They had found their way back, not ignored but accepted, intertwined as they walked away from the shadows, forever united. It was a new beginning, the dawn breaking bright over their horizon, filled with promise and possibility. But more importantly, in that moment, they felt free. So remember, anytime you find yourself battling the darkness, remember the power of love, connection, and the refusal to surrender. Embrace the light, take the leap of faith, and know warmth will always guide you home. Now, if you want more mind-blowing stories like this one, you need to subscribe immediately so you don't miss what's next. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm, and let's keep this community strong. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this ending. What left you shocked? And don't wait even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Your support is crucial, and only true fans understand its importance.